Hi, so Ahmad is back. Ahmad Ibrahim, 9378 from YouTube is back, and he's upset that I exposed his innermost freak. Oy vey! So let's go and read his comments, shall we? This is such fun. Anyway, before I begin, this is the Zionist witch, right? Ahmad gave me that name, so I'm very proudly gonna wear it, right? And so let's see what he has to say, shall we? Okay, this is such fun. Okay, so he comments on my video where I said Ahmad just exposed his innermost freak, and he has issues with me saying that, right? It's exposing his innermost freak, right? So it's all lots of fun. So let's get into it, shall we? So he comments, the audacity of this witch to lecture me about sexual morality when she just admitted she fantasizes about blowing Netanyahu's genocidal dick and then falsifying rape to blackmail him for money. No, that's not what I said. I wouldn't falsify rape. I would just have an affair with him, and I would ask for money in order to not expose the what do you call the affair. I would ask him for money, but I'm not like that because I'm not money hungry. I'm very simple, so I don't. It's just something that crossed my mind at some point or other, just for the fun of it, you know. It's like when you imagine things, your imagination goes wild, right? So, but yeah, so Netanyahu's genocidal dick. I mean, you know, you're Muslim, as I said before. Your religion is about, you know, raping children. So, like, you're here pointing fingers and accusing us of genocide, but your people have done colonization over 50 countries, and because you really come from Arabia. If you're an Arab, you come from Saudi Arabia, from the Arabian Peninsula. You shouldn't be in Iraq, Afghanistan. Those are not your countries, right? But you've Arabized it, and you've Islamized it. So, and you rape boys, little boys, right? Like, that's part of your culture, and you can kill your mom if your mom insults Muhammad, and you can fuck little children. You can marry little girls as young as 1 or 2 years old. So you're, like, sick. So it's so rich for you to come and start lecturing me about wanting to blow Netanyahu's genocidal dick, right? When you yourself are freaky. Do you know what I'm saying? So calm down. That's your culture. Do you know what I'm saying? Unless you publicly get up and say, oh, I am not a Muslim, right? And you say it to your family and your friends, and you embrace another religion, like Christianity, or even become a Buddhist or Hindu. That's the only time when anyone will take you seriously as being somebody who's upright, right? Because, or if you become an atheist, right? So when you renounce your family, because obviously if you leave your religion, they will kill you. So don't do that. You know, like, you can announce that you're leaving your religion and leave the country and leave your family so they don't kill you, right? Unless you do that, I will never, ever, nobody has any reason to trust you and yours for not having freaky fetish type of stuff. And you yourself have exposed yourself to all these weird ideas about, you're the one that suggested about, where was that video where you suggested that you accuse me of having fantasies of all different kind of weird, wild stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? And then when I embrace it and I say, oh, actually, that's actually a good idea, now you're trying to tell me, now you're accusing me of thinking up all these weird fantasies when literally you're the one who brought it up. You're the one that suggested it to me, and I just ran with it because it's fun. But, okay. So he continues on, right? Ahmad continues. And then falsifying rape to blackmail him for money. Not rape, you weirdo. It's consensual, you know, like, you know, Netanyahu once actually had once had an affair. He cheated on his wife, Sarah, right? So it's not something new to him, but it definitely has nothing to do with rape, or it's consensual, you know what I'm saying? Only your type does rape, you know, like your Muhammad the Prophet, he raped a little girl named Aisha. She was 9 years old when he fucked her, which is sick and evil, and he could have ripped her insides, right? But that's your culture, do you know what I'm saying? So it's rich coming from you, right? So this guy continues, Ahmad continues, LOL. And what is my crime again? Not giving my mom flowers often enough? No, it's like the first time your mom ever received flowers, and I had to suggest it to you to give her flowers. And I don't even believe that you gave it to her altogether, right? And you wouldn't feel the need to mention it if it was something you did common and often enough, right? If it was a common occurrence. So he continues, not giving my mom flowers often enough, haha. And then she goes on to say, to say that masturbating to Gazans being killed along with those. Oh, that's what he said. He suggested, Ahmad suggested that I'm a sick person that would go with Ben Gvir and Netanyahu and watch Gazan children being slaughtered, and I would masturbate to it. That's what he said, right? Like, that's his idea of getting wet. That's his idea of masturbation. That's his idea of excitement. He's the one that suggested it, right? And I just said, oh my God, like, this guy's crazy. But, you know, if I were ever to have an affair with Netanyahu, it would be something completely different. But that's his thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's lower vibrational. He operates on a lower, there's like different vibrations. He's like a bottom feeder, parasite, right? And so I shouldn't be engaging with this lower vibration, but it's just interesting for kicks and giggles, right? But it's important to demonstrate and to actually to demonstrate and to point out the perversions of Islamic mentality, where he can even say such a thing, that I'm masturbating, that somebody would masturbate to such a thing. Like, he's sick. That's his mindset, right? He's the one that thinks this kind of thing up, right? So and then she goes on to say that masturbating to Gazans being killed along with those three genocidal stooges in that basement sounds good, right? I said that that's your idea. I said what sounds really good is to have an affair with one of them, or maybe not. Like, it's just, I'm just going along with your weird kind of freaky stuff, you know? I shouldn't have, actually, but whatever, you know? Like, you got issues. You would masturbate to Jewish children being killed, and I'm sure that you do that already, because you wouldn't suggest it otherwise. If you wouldn't even be thinking in this way if it weren't on your mind, you know what I'm saying? Like, who suggests such a thing? Like, who thinks that way? Only your type, you know? Like, I guess it's because you're Muslim. That's the way you think, you know? Because you get high on blood, and you're a death cult. Muslims love death. They worship death, and you say it yourself. And your reward for killing Jews, according to your way, to your Bible, to the Quran, is you get 72 virgins up in heaven where you can deflower, and those women have big fat breasts, which is something that is written in your Quran. Like, that's your reward for being a martyr. So, like, your religion is lower vibration, it's bottom feeding, it's giving creepy, gross, it's giving fetish, it's giving ugh. You know what I'm saying? But that's your thing. You're the one who brought it up, right? So he continues on. Ahmad continues on. She probably fantasizes about getting an airtight gangbang from them as well. No, that's your thing. You know, you're the one who rapes even men on October 7. Your type, you raped men. You gang raped males, Israelis. And even Muslims who were caught by your Israeli Muslims who were caught by Hamas, they got gang raped, right? But then that goes against the idea of you know, they're being gay. In Islam, you're not allowed to be gay, or you get killed. But then you're allowed to rape men in a time of war. You're allowed to, you know, if you're doing a genocide like your type like to do, you're allowed to do that. And it's not considered being gay to rape little boys. So, like, who are you kidding, Ahmad? Who are you kidding? You've been exposed, and it's very sad that you think in this way, right? That you'd even suggest such a thing, to be gang rape. Like, is that your fantasy? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's your fantasy, I think, because you think in this way. Like, who thinks this way? Then he continues, and yet Greta is the one with the grotesque fetishes. Well, she is, because she wants to be kidnapped. Like, anything that you suggest that you accuse other people of doing, it usually means that it's your projection, because you're uncomfortable within your own skin, and you know that's on your mind, and that's why you would even suggest it to begin with, right? And so, like, it's your culture, right? And like, Greta, she's like busy there saying I'm kidnapped by the Israeli IDF forces, as if it's like a good thing to be kidnapped. Like, we know what happened to our hostages that were taken hostage. Those Jewish people on October 7 that were taken hostages from the Nova Music Festival. We saw how they were dragged into Gaza, how their bodies were lynched. We saw how the people who were stuck in Gaza for 100 days, right, and then they were released, what they looked like, the women, right, the men, how they were starved, and they came out and they were raped, and they were sexually assaulted, and they were tortured to death, and they were kept in tunnels, and they kept Jewish children and non-Jewish children that they kidnapped, and Thailandese people, what Hamas did to them, right? So we understand that it's not a cool thing to get kidnapped, right? It's very scary. But Greta, she's you know, she thinks it's a joke. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that makes me think that she thinks it's cute to get kidnapped. She doesn't take it serious. She doesn't understand the gravity of what kidnapped means. But then again, maybe, you know, some people have a fetish where, you know, you see handsome IDF soldiers, then maybe people have weird BDSM creepy stuff that turns them on. So maybe Greta is one of those that likes to dream about getting kidnapped by an IDF soldier, being held against her will. Like, I don't know, there's romance stories talking about that. So maybe that's what she likes. And I don't understand why you're even defending Greta, because she literally is an infidel. She's not Islamic. So, like, your own people can punish you for that. So he continues on. And what was her crime again? Attempting to deliver aid and food to hungry Gazans? I mean, like, I think we should have let her get into Gaza, because, like, look what they did to Vittorio Arrigoni, right? Another Italian guy who came to Gaza, and in 2010 or something, and he wanted to help the Gazans because, according to what he heard, they were hungry, right? And he got kidnapped by a rivaling faction from, not against Hamas, right? Some people from Gaza, random people, kidnapped him and they hung him. They beat him and they tortured him and they hung him and they killed him. This is the Gazan people. That's how they behave. You go there as their friend and you want to give them food and aid. Go at your own risk. You know what I'm saying? We know from personal experience how the Gazan civilians behave. So I think we should have let her in to give aid, right? The aid that she brought with them was like enough for like 1 or 2 people. But okay, whatever. Like, as if you really believe that she came to bring aid, as if like the aid that she brought was anything significant at all. And she even ate, her and the gang were hungry, so they ate part of the food for the poor Gazans for themselves. So, I mean, the whole thing is a mockery. The whole thing is pathetic. And people like you that support this type of thing, you know, you need to reflect on yourself and try to do some inner working and perhaps abandon that disgusting religion of yours and embrace the 7 laws of Noah, which is good for you. And it will elevate your consciousness to higher consciousness, where you won't be thinking about freaky stuff and suggesting masturbation and all these weird ideas that you have and projecting them onto other people, right? And it'll be good for you, right? So then he continues, haha, get a grip, you Zionist twat. Oh, and I would appreciate if you didn't start every video now with, hello, this is the Zio Witch. I mean it as an insult, not as a badge of honor. I take it as a badge of honor. Thank you so much. You know, like, I really appreciate it. I am the Zionist witch. You know, and like he's basically, I don't even need to go and find out about this guy. I have my ways because I'm the witch, right? The Zionist witch. He's basically revealed himself for what he is. He is what you call a little Hamas Islamo-Nazi, Islamofascist. Anyway, it's been real, and I suggest that you continue buying your mom flowers and don't kill her if she insults Muhammad the Prophet. And please don't do anything weird to children. And this is the Zionist Witches channel, and feel free to subscribe, to unsubscribe, feel free to like, not to like, feel free to comment. And have a great day. Shabbat Shalom. Yes.